Hey guys, it's Rick. I'm back for a haul video, but it's a different type of haul video. I haven't done a haul video for my movies in a very long time, and I've actually just stopped buying for a while. I kind of got just bored with the hobby, to be honest with you. There's things I want, but there's nothing that I'm just dying to have. And when you start losing your passion in collecting, you have to find something else to replace it. So that's where my new hobby has come into place, which is actually an old hobby, something I used to do a long time ago. I am was a huge video game fan, and I've started collecting video games again. And my personal favorite, I'll show you, was the Nintendo Entertainment System. This is my spare console. So at one time I had quite a massive collection of games, about 500. So went through some financial difficulties, ended up having to sell it all off, and I didn't even want to look at the video game. I was pretty hurt by having to get rid of all that stuff. But the bug hit me to collect again, and I wanted to show off what I have gotten so far. Right now I have 112 games. I got another game on the way. I'll show you what I've got and just kind of go over some personal favorites. First off, I've got 10 Yard Fight, early football game for the NES. "3D World Runner." Now, personal favorite here, hard game, but I've always had a lot of love for it. This is The Adventures of Bayou Billy. Something about this game, it's just always rectified with me. One of the things that I'm trying to do is build my childhood collection back. I'm missing 11 NES games from my childhood, and hopefully I will be able to get those back. And the next games are very important to me. And my daughter have been playing these, and we've actually beat them together. And that was another reason why I wanted to collect games again, is it's something that we can do together. She's not a movie person, but she seems to enjoy the games. And the game we play together is The Adventures of Lolo. I also there were 2 sequels to Lolo. I found the second one, Adventures of Lolo 2, fun game. And we've had a good time playing that together. Next game is Alpha Mission. It's a shooter game, which ended up being a lot harder than I expected it to be. This is a very common game. I see this everywhere I go. I've yet to put this in my system. It's called Anticipation, which is like a board game, or like an online board game. I need to open that up, take a look at that. Next up, we've got Bad News Baseball. There were, I think, 21 to 22 baseball games on the system. I've got a decent amount of those. Next, we've got Bandai Golf Challenge, Pebble Beach. Which I love the variety of games on the system. A lot of these I'd never played before, some I have as I work through these. Original black box game, Baseball. Personal favorite as a kid, and actually has a sleeve. This is Baseball Simulator 1000. It was really fun because there was a team and a league called the Ultra League where they had like special pitches and hits and things like that made that game really incredibly fun. All right, next baseball game we've got is Bases Loaded. And this is a series. There were 4 Bases Loaded games, and I ended up getting them all. Bases Loaded 2, second season. Bases Loaded 3, and the incredibly hard to find Bases Loaded 4. I was happy to have that, which I actually was playing that the other night and I really seemed to enjoy it. I think a lot of the thing that I like about collecting Nintendo again is it brings me back to those Friday nights with my brother playing games. And so it's been a really fun thing to do. Next up, we got a hockey game called Blades of Steel. See that label? Burger Time. Now this was a personal favorite and still is to this day. I actually play this quite often. You're a little chef here and you have to build burgers, you have to run across burgers, and you're being chased by a pickle, an egg, and a wiener that try to take you down. Fun game. Never played it, I definitely recommend it. California Games, which has probably been on almost every system known to man. Captain Skyhawk, another incredibly common game. Personal favorite, Castlevania. Simon Belmont facing Dracula. Can't beat it. It was one of my childhood collection. Next we've got Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Another great game. Another one from my childhood collection. This is Championship Bowling, the only bowling game on the system. Because bowling was not a very popular thing. This was a little hard to find, but I found a copy of it. It's called Championship Pool. About 4 pool games that I know of that I've seen. This is a personal favorite, Chess Master. I've always enjoyed chess, no matter what form I get it in. Next up, we have Commando. An early Capcom game. I don't remember much about that one. Never really played it much. This was one that we played a lot as kids. Contra. Actually, my mom played this with me. This was a big hit in the house. Donkey Kong 3, which is an arcade game. Not your typical Donkey Kong game. Instead of like Mario in this game, there's a guy that's actually Donkey Kong knocks bees down, and you've got to get him to go climb back up these poles and keep the bees away from you. It's actually a lot funner than I thought it would be. Double Dragon 2: The Revenge. It's the only Double Dragon game I've gotten so far. I do enjoy it. Any of the old-fashioned beat 'em ups have always been fun for me. Classic game, Double Dribble. Fun basketball game. Which they say there's supposedly you can do some broken 3 shots on there. I've never attempted it. Next game up is Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt the system I had a Mario Duck Hunt combination cart. This came with it. I remember playing this at my grandfather's house, and he was really, really good at this game. Excite Bike. Fun game that I enjoy. I like that you can build your own tracks with it. Some can actually scratched a 45 in the back of it for some weird reason. This is a game that I think gets a bad reputation. It is incredibly hard, but I've actually grown to enjoy it, and I've actually done fairly well at it, is Fester's Quest. The key is just powering up Fester before you ever get started in it, and then you can do well. But it is a challenge. I've not beat it yet, but I'm doing well at it. One of the hardest games on the system, hands down, Ghosts and Goblins. little King Arthur here. It's a game you actually have to beat twice to beat it. We have golf. There's 7 golf games on the system. I have them all now. This is a hard one to come across. Understand this is called Golf Grand Slam. Let's see. I also have Golf Power with Greg Norman. This was the last golf game I needed. This was a Blockbuster rental actually, which I thought that was kind of neat. All right, we just make some changes here. Next up, we got Goonies 2. There was a Goonies released in Japan. We never got that game, but we did get the sequel, which it's a fun game. It's got a good challenge to it. I remember reading that a lot. All right, let's see. Gyromite. This is one of the robot series of games. You needed the robot to work this. You can actually play this with a second controller, but it's incredibly hard. From understanding, I've never fooled with it because I don't have the robot. I'd like to have that experience one day. This is Gotcha. It's a Zapper game. This was played a lot. My mom really liked playing this when we were kids. This is Gumshoe. It's another Zapper game where you shoot all the things around this detective that's running around. You can shoot him to make him jump, but you have to shoot enemies that are coming at him. Fun game. A lot of memories there. Hogan's Alley, another cool Zapper game. Hoops. This was a recent pickup from not too long ago. This is Ice Climber, one of the original Black Box games, which isn't bad. Ice Hockey. We have Akari Warriors. This is Infiltrator. It's a helicopter game. This one was a big one in my house growing up. This is called Iron Tank. It's the invasion of Normandy, and your little tank and go around shooting Nazis. Fun game. Hard. All right. Next up, we've got John Elway's Quarterback Club. I'm gonna go a little bit out of order with this one because I had some of these I haven't had shelved. I've got Jack Nicklaus. This is the greatest 18 holes of major championship golf. I played this other day. I didn't mind it. Another one from my childhood, Karnoff, which was a challenging game, but fun. Kings of the Beach, volleyball game. This one's a personal one from what I had as a child, Kung Fu. Another one from my childhood that we owned was Kid Icarus, incredibly hard game. But me and my brother beat that when we were kids. Alright, next up we got Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf. One of the things I've been enjoying doing, like collecting some of these games, is reading up on the people it was based on. I was reading up on Lee Trevino the other day. It was kind of neat. Mock Rider racing game. I actually played this the other day. Now this is a really hard game. This was Mad Max. Magic Johnson, Fast Break Basketball. Now we're going to get into a series of games that's one of some of my personal favorites. I have Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, Mega Man 4, Mega Man 5, which is the hardest one to get in this entire series. And I didn't have it. I had it as a kid. Didn't have it when I was collecting 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. And then I finally got a copy of it again. Now I need Mega Man 1 to have all 6, because this is number 6. But the Mega Man series, it was my favorite game series. I just have always liked Mega Man. I don't know why. There's something about it. Alright, next up we've got Metal Gear. Fun game, had this as a kid, glad to get this. Actually even got the book to go with it. So that was cool. Milon Secret Council. I haven't put this one in yet. If you've played it, you know anything about it, let me know. Known for its incredible difficulty, Mission Impossible. Major League Baseball, probably one of the cheapest games you can get on this system. I've seen it for as low as like 95 cents. Sports games technically are usually the cheapest games, although not these days. The system, a lot of games, I've nicknamed it Nintendo Gold. People like to charge crazy prices for their games. Next up, Muscle. I had this as a kid. I was really glad to get this one back. Narc, another one I had as a kid that I was glad to get back. You're killing drug dealers and taking money off the streets from them. Pretty violent for its day. It was an arcade game. This is NES Play Action Football. A game that I've really enjoyed playing is Othello. I really have enjoyed playing this. This has been fun. Next up was one that I played at the arcade a lot, and the only game I ever got my dad to play was Operation Wolf, and he did really well at it. The always great Pac-Man. I play this a lot. Oh, actually I missed one. MTV's Remote Control. Next up, we've got Paperboy. Pinball. I've always had a thing for pinball games, so pinball games, there are a couple more on the NES that I don't have, so I am looking for those. Popeye. This was a favorite as a kid. Pro wrestling. Everybody loves Starman in this game. RC Pro-Am. Racket Attack. One thing I want to throw in here is a lot of these games, although you're seeing price tags on them, I didn't pay those prices. I traded movies, and using that credit, got most of what you see here. Very few of these have actually put any money into. Rad Racer. Rescue the Embassy Mission. Russian Attack. Silent Services is another one that is very, very common. Made by, it says Ultra, but it's actually Capcom. When Nintendo, they didn't want more than, I think, 10 games released a year or 5 games a year on the system. So they came with a seal of quality to make sure people were getting good games. Well, companies just started creating other labels in the way they can maximize on what they could release a year. So that's what they did here. Now this game I'm fixing to show you is my favorite game of all time. This is Shadowgate. And it's the only game that I actually have the original box for. My brother, thanks to him, sent me this as a present. So we got The Simpsons, Bart versus the Space Mutants. Not the greatest game, but I have a lot of fondness for it as a kid. Skate or Die. Soccer. Super Glove Ball. This one, you had to use something called the Power Glove, which I had at one time, and I'm going to get again, and I'll show that off in a future video. Star Voyager. Spy Hunter, another one we played a lot as a kid. Solar Jetman. Okay. The classic Super Mario and Duck Hunt, which is a personal favorite. I remember opening up the Nintendo on Christmas morning, and that was the game we played. Super Mario 2, which I have a lot of fondness for, actually, and Super Mario 3. Another one we had as a kid, Super Contra. Hard game. Or Super C, actually. Why they went with that, who knows. Super Team Games. But I'm saying this is a Power Pad game. I hadn't got the Power Pad yet. Tecmo Baseball. Tecmo Super Bowl. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a thing I remember most about this was the incredibly hard swimming level, and if you lost Donatello, you were pretty much screwed because he had the best weapon. Tennis and Tetris. TNC Surf Design, which is a surfing and skateboard game. Track and Field 2. Wheel of Fortune Junior Edition. I ain't played this yet, but that might be kind of fun to play. Wild Gunman. Another Zapper game. I was really glad to get that back. Win, Lose, or Draw. There was a lot of like television shows that were ported over to the Nintendo. Winter Games. Alright, we've got, again, a couple out of order. NES Open, Nintendo version of golf, a newer version, Wrath of the Black Mana, WrestleMania, Wrecking Crew. We played this a lot as a kid. And last but certainly not least, Yoshi's Cookie. Well, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll be back with more games. See ya.